In this short video, I'm going to be showcasing to you how you can use a $500 a month ad strategy with AI to scale your agency or coaching business from 10K or 15K to about 50K or 100K per month. If not, we'll pay you $2,500 on top if it doesn't work. Big claim, but let me back it up. First, why should you listen to me out of all the people that you see online making big, bold promises towards you? Back in 2019, I started my agency and I had €0 to my name, $0 to my name. And the first person who helped me break through was Iman Gadji. With his mentorship, I scaled pretty much to 12K a month. And my interview with him is still one of the best watched interviews on his extended channels. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to get to the point why it's actually been something that has been a game changer for me and something you can take away for you in getting the exact same result that I've been getting as well. So if you want to look it up, it's online and you can see it. So there's back proof from 5 years ago or 6 years ago, or depending when you're watching this, from what I've done with him. And what I've done is scale my business from there to about 50K a month. I grew it to a level where it is self-sustaining. I have a team doing the work, getting the things going. And I scaled it also, you can see here the full Stripe account pretty much that we have. I scaled it to the point where we've gotten multiple millions in revenue from using not expensive ads and expensive AI tools, but really simple yet very effective ones that I'm going to be showing to you today. Now, not only was I able to do all these things for myself, but also for other agency owners that asked how I did it exactly. And more importantly, I've helped hundreds of agency owners and coaches do the same, often much faster than myself, and without the pain I went through. Here are a few examples. So on our Trustpilot, you will see all the people that we've helped, all people that have scaled their business to the level without using complicated strategies, but clear strategies. And you are probably someone who's seen it all. You know all the people, you know that everyone wants to do you an offer, and you probably know that when you watch something or someone approaches you, they want to sell you something. Well, in this video, I'm going to do my absolute best to give you value up front and give you everything you need first, without even showing you what we do. If you stick until the end, I will show you what we do because, as I said, this is a VSL document and I'm just being very straightforward with you and very honest because you and I both know the market. We know how it stands. We know how these people are doing things. So let's do it a little bit differently. First, let me show you some examples so you actually understand why I'm telling you these things and to, back up my claims that I'm going to be teaching you and showcasing to you in just a second. First, we have Peter. Peter was able to scale his physiotherapy marketing agency from 40K to 100K a month in 2 months of working with us. And he implemented the exact strategy you're going to be seeing in this video. Now, he's one of the people that on my YouTube channel is set with all the reviews that we have. Now, I'm going to showcase you just a few, just so you have an idea in terms of what we have been doing. Sophia scaled her biz up coaching from 10K a month to 100K a month, also in 2 months of working with us as well by yielding low-hanging fruits through our strategy and minimal ad budget because she already had the leverage. Dion went from 2 clients to 17 clients, doing 20K a month with the new way of using AI for client acquisition at just 19 years old. And he did this in one of the most saturated niches, which is the e-commerce agency space. If you don't know, e-commerce agencies are just super, they have it very tough in the market because there's so many people approaching e-commerce brands to work with them. And he did it, as I said, in the most saturated niches. Now, Emil went from making a couple of bucks with local lead gen to losing all clients and then starting an email marketing agency and using AI to write his emails and make his pretty much generate his designs and scaled it to more than 40K. And now at the time of recording this, almost 60K plus a month. And Leroy built his own website agency with AI for multi-6 figures and signing clients for more than 7K a pop. And pretty much he will be helping, he's helping all the people also now get website agencies and grow their website agency and SEO agency as he did himself. Now, Nikon and Milan from Sweden also were able to generate about 21K within a week by implementing my secret AI acquisition weapon that I've used on semi-autopilot without begging for clients. I'm going to showcase to you exactly how you can implement it too. And those clients were begging to work with them because of this system and it working. So you can see the results here. And on top of that, we have more than 200 plus results pretty much speaking for themselves that you can all find here on my YouTube channel, very public and very open, because I'm very transparent with what we do and how we do it. And I want to showcase to you that it can be done differently by all the people compared to all the people that you've seen in the market. Now, let me give you a big picture strategy first, because here is the truth. And as I said, you've probably seen it all. You've probably seen these gurus make these bold promises and then actually not back it up. So let me give you first the big plan, so you understand exactly to the point what it entails, so we can then go into the exact steps that you can understand what is of importance to actually leverage all of these things. So here is the truth. Anyone can open ChatGPT, create ads, or try cold DMs. The real difference comes from how you use these tools in a proven system. Listen, you probably know the game. You have probably more knowledge than anyone, but you're not making the bucks that you would need. You're not getting the clients to show up. You're not getting the people to actually book a call with you that are warm, and you don't have a system that is automated to get you these qualified bookings for people that can be closed in one call. Let's be honest. You know the things. You know of ChatGPT. You know of AI, but you just don't know how to leverage it to the point where you can be making 50 to 100K a month and working less than all of these other people that are actually doing more but earning way less than people like us and the clients that I've shown you just so far are doing. This is the map we follow to consistently generate 30 to 100 qualified appointments per month for agencies, coaches, and course creators. And instead of me just saying, oh, look, here is the, screenshot of this, let me show you the full strategy. Let me go in depth. Let me show you exactly how you can do it. So if you want to, you can actually go away from this video and pretty much just replicate it. This is the full strategy on Big Picture and Miro. So you just get an idea of how it looks and how it works, and we'll dissect this strategy one by one so you have fully clear on how we do things. So when I go in here, the first thing you got to understand is that this is the strategy used by people like Peter that has scaled his physiotherapy agency from 40K to 100K, people like Sophia that I mentioned, people like Nico and Milan, Leroy, Emil, and a ton of other people. And what they've done is a 3-step process that's very, very simple. And I'm going to showcase that to you. We start off with traffic. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of things also on Meta and how it works, because there's this thought that Meta ads is just, has to be very expensive. But it doesn't need to be expensive. Actually, it can be very cheap. But if you don't know what you're doing, well, then everything will be expensive. So if we look at the traffic, one thing that we always leverage on ads is 3 things. And that is specific face-to-camera with direct offer ads, client interview ads, and then still image with direct offers mentioned ads. And this has worked over the course of many different niches, but specifically agency owners, coaches, and course creators, because we've been focusing on that for ourselves, for our clients. Now, Meta's AI, and I'll get to that in a second in step 2, Meta's AI is super strong. It's very strong. And what we can do is we can make ads that are ready to go within less than an hour that looks something like this. And you then see pretty much an AI avatar talking. And it's all been generated by AI, but it still converts very well. Now, we do the same thing with still images. And maybe you saw a still image and you clicked on it and you saw that ad, and you're now watching this video. So with that being said, when we go back to this, there's 3 different types of angles we want to take. Now, we first want to start with retargeting. So many people start with cold ads. You can go the cold direction, and you should if you don't have low-hanging fruits, but we can create the low-hanging fruits. These days, there are things that can be used where we can scrape people pretty much and find followers from your direct competitors, or find their subscribers on YouTube from your direct competitors, and extract all the lead sourcing that we want to in a document to get their email, to get their name, to get their phone numbers, and to then leverage that into a custom audience in Meta and retarget those people, all ethically proven, GDPR confirmed, or how we want to call it. We have 3 things. These retargeting ads are being shared pretty much from the clients, and then we can utilize these things. Now, if you don't have a client interview, you don't have to have the client interview. You can use something else. You can use a direct offer, pretty much a direct video to speak to the camera with a direct offer, or use a still image if you don't have client results yet. So even if you don't have that many client results, we can still be using these things to leverage all of the lowest hanging fruits that you have. You're just not aware that you have them. So what we do is we use tools, and I'll just give you one of them, just for an example, just so you know that I'm not, BSing. Appify. Appify is a tool where you can scrape all the people from Instagram. And you can go further and you can scrape not only people from an Instagram profile, but from hashtags, mentions, reel scrapers, posts, pretty much people that have commented. So let's say, for example, your direct competitor has comments, or the agency that is doing kind of the same thing, they have a brand created and you want to scrape their Instagram comments. Well, you can do that with Apify. Now, there are further things that we do with N8N where we lead source pretty much these people. We put them into a document, fully done through N8N. N8N then goes ahead and verifies all those leads to make sure that their emails are good, that they're actually legit people, legit CEOs. And then what we can do is we can send those people pretty much to an email where we can then send the email. AI will create the email with a direct offer, pitch it to them, follow up to them on Instagram, LinkedIn, or whatever platform you want to do. And then pretty much we can leverage it like that. So we don't only do ads, we also do that part. But I'm not going to go too in-depth on that because the main strategy where we do is cheap ads. That is the first part of the story. And the second part of the story is the 2-step funnel. And in this case, for them, it was a 4-step funnel. So what Peter did, and what we set up for him, is we set up 4 specific pages, all right, on their high level that they're using. And what we did is we set up a landing page with a opt-in where the cost per lead goal was less than 15 euros, because I don't really look at the cost per lead. I'll look at one specific metric, and I'll tell you what that is. That metric is very important, and the metric is the cost per book call. The cost per book call and the cost per acquisition. What are those two things? If those are low, then, and when I say low, I'm talking about a lower cost per book call than, for example, $100. I'm talking about a cost per acquisition, depending on the offer, of lower than $200 or $250. And a cost per lead, it can be 50, it can be 70. I don't give a damn. I just want to make sure that we're getting good calls, qualified calls, and we're closing deals. So we have the video page, where the video page showcases a short video that we created with a specific structure that I'll show to you in a second. And we have the booking page, where they can book a call, a few qualifying questions, and then the confirmation page, where they get a video explaining the exact offer, what is being done, what is happening, so they understand when they come on a call that are actually warm and they understand what they do without them having to have 2-hour-long sales calls. It's not needed. So these are the KPIs that we look for. Lower than 15 euro cost per lead. KPIs engagement rate, let's say, for example, higher than 50%. KPI VSL is pretty much higher than 10%. So we want 10% of the people to actually go ahead and book a call. Of all the leads that come through, we want actually, 10% of the people to actually have watched the video and then come through and then book a call. And then the KPI on the confirmation is non-existent because we look at these things first. So the structure of it looks like this. And you can use this for yourself if you want to. If you can take this and you can do it for yourself. Find me someone in this day and age who gives you something like this that you can utilize immediately and start setting it up. Here's the thing. 10-minute VSL framework for physios. This is what we set up with them. And this is the structure. The target audience is physiotherapists who want more clients and predictable revenue. The core flow is 10 minutes long. Direct professional evidence-based because that's what their niche wants. That's a language they speak. The style is a loom with a presentation, just like I'm doing here. It works very well. It's very simple, very direct. They like that. So first we have the big desire, where we will be aiming to get 30 to 100 extra clients per month with evidence-based marketing that works in 2025. That's what he created. Then we have the core problem, where we dive into the problem that these physios actually have. Then, pretty much we dive into the framework. So what do we do to solve it, right? The 3-step framework. Then we have case studies and social proof backing up the framework. Then we have a social proof layer. If they can do it, you can do it too. And then we have a strong CTA. If you book a call today, we'll give you a free growth plan valued at $675, and we'll also give you additional audit on what you're doing right now and that you can improve with your physiotherapy practice. So that's the structure that we have in the VSL. Now you can take this for yourself, and if you're doing med spa niche, if you're doing physiotherapy niche, if you're doing chiropractor niche, roofing niche, if you're doing construction niche, if you're doing whatever type of niche, you can take this and start implementing it already. But it only begins with this, because you can imagine if a lead comes through and they don't get followed up, well, we have a big problem. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have a specific follow-up sequence, because otherwise leads will drop off. So what we do is there's an immediate lead handling. So that means that every single lead that comes through, they go to a high level, and we have a specific column and a CRM there where leads get followed up with the workflows backed that our snapshot gives them, so they can actually be followed up and nurtured for the long term, because not everyone wants to buy. We got to keep in mind that only 1% of your audience is ready for buying. That means if you approach 100 people, 1 will be ready to buy. Not all 100. People expect that everyone can convert. Not everyone can convert because of the stats that I just mentioned to you. So when we tag these leads and we assign them automatically, what we gotta understand is that we also want to have setters following them up. Now, an AI setter, for example, like a Pointwise, maybe you've heard of that, is being used for the AI setter, where we send a WhatsApp or an SMS and automate that fully with the AI setter. But the AI can only do so much. AI is only a small part of the bigger picture. AI cannot do everything. Plus, if it's not prompted well, AI will be noticed by the people that are opting in. So we got to make it as humanly as possible, but there's still a 5 to 10% rate where we want to have a human setter follow up with a person, because it's just that edge that we can use to actually convert the person to a booked call. So the human setter layer is pretty much where a human setter calls each lead within 5 to 10 minutes, next to the AI also following up on WhatsApp or an SMS or an email. And then what we have is we have a specific proven script where it's listen, qualify, book, and a reminder via WhatsApp or email to see if the AI said it, but also additionally send a voice note, because voice notes work so good, personalized voice notes work so good that the conversion skyrockets and pretty much goes from 10% of the people only answering to potentially even 60% of the people answering, from what we've seen with the clients that we work with. Now, that being said, we create the follow-up machine, which is a 7-day window where we send WhatsApp and SMS nudges from this AI setter plus the human setter. We have email reminders with value, proof, and urgency. And we have call attempts if not booked yet. This overall alone, this machine follow-up has been shown to give an average show-up increase of about 25% upwards to almost 50%, as I just mentioned to you. The outcome of this is that every serious lead either books themselves or is booked manually by AI plus a human setter, which ensures 3 to 5 daily calls consistently, but not just daily calls. These aren't just daily calls. These are qualified calls. Why? Because on the front end, we give them an offer that's very direct and very understanding for them in terms of what they're going to be getting, especially if the niche is saturated, like our niche. You already know it, and I know it. If I were here talking to you about freedom, I would have lost you within the first 2 seconds. But I'm going to be showcasing you how to do this as well, how to implement this, and how to get those warm leads on a daily basis for yourself. Let's get back to the document. So this is the entire strategy, exactly fully in depth on how to do it. Now that you know and understand it, let's go a little bit further. Because with this system, we take cold prospects and transform them into warm referral quality leads who are ready to buy before you even get on a call. This is the 3 core step, all right? To pretty much the steps to scaling from 10K or 15K a month to 50K or 100K a month. Step 1, the offer that converts cold prospects. Most agency owners or coaches think an offer is just a, hot promise. You just get like this offer. I'm just going to give you like this offer, sign 55 to 85 clients every single month. No, it's wrong. It's an offer is not just a slogan. It's not something to just scream at the top of your lungs to attract clients. It's not the messaging. People actually completely get this wrong. They don't understand that a message is different than an offer. An offer is actually what you do. It needs to consist of a specific type of thing that can actually convert someone and provide them value. A message is what you say on the front end to trigger people to actually come through. Those two things are very different and people don't understand it. So once and for all, an offer is a system. It's a conversion machine that makes cold strangers book pre-sold calls with you like clockwork. And here's the brutal truth. I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're only closing people who you already know, referrals, warm intros, or word to mouth, you honestly have a pool that's so tiny from the huge prospecting tool that you pretty much have, from the huge prospecting pool that you can utilize, from a huge prospecting pool that you are not leveraging right now. Let's be honest. You will always be capped if you continue this way. The only way to scale, the only way is to take cold strangers and turn them into high-ticket clients. So whilst we do leverage low-hanging fruits and we do retargeting, we don't necessarily only retarget people that are warm. We retarget people that are cold. And the way that we do that is by specifically utilizing this exact strategy that I've just shown you, but we'll go a little bit in depth. So as I said, the game is to turn cold strangers and get them into your offer. Now, here's how the math works. If you take 10 calls and you close at 30% on a 5K offer, that's 15K, right? But if you take those same 10 calls, let's say the calls are exactly the same, okay? But now close at 60%, aka they're warmer, they're more qualified, and they know what you do when they're on the call with you. On a 12K offer, that's 72K. So 15K or 72K. That's almost a 57,000 difference. It's insane. So what you got to understand is that you can get the same calls, but you can increase your revenue. And the way that you do that is by understanding leverage and by understanding that you need to convert cold prospects into actually paying you money for the delivery that you are doing, for the thing that you are doing, for the system that you are doing, which is your offer. So you have you and you have organic. So if you do organic, that should equate to money. But you can also say, if you have an offer and you direct it to cold prospects, that will also give you money. As long as you follow the exact guidelines of having a clear offer and understanding it's a system, because it starts with that. You can have pretty much all the outreach if you are doing it every single day. Maybe you're doing it now. Maybe you're doing full outbound. Maybe you're doing all these kinds of things. Maybe you tried ads and now you say, it doesn't work. Or maybe I don't have the money to do ads right now. Well, you don't need the money. Newsflash. You only need to follow a specific guideline that actually will convert people. Even if you reach out to them organically, even if you reach out to them, and they are cold, and to instantly get them warm, you need to understand first that the offer is a system, okay? It's not just you screaming at the top of your lungs that you're going to get them clients. You actually need to have a system. So when you nail this, your calendar will fill with people who are pre-qualified, pre-sold, ready to buy on the very first call. And the best part, you don't have to be the brand. You don't have to be the face or rely on luck. You don't, because it's proven. The offer, it does the heavy lifting for you. The system, it does the heavy lifting for you. You've set it up once. You have maximized it fully. Your niche knows that you're speaking towards them. They feel the trigger when you're speaking towards them. Boom, they take action. You got clients that are warm and not cold clients that will think about it. No, they know what you do and they're ready to take action and pay you their hard-earned bucks immediately to get started because they want the solution that you are giving because they've already seen what you can do for other people. The offer, as I said, is exactly what we did with Peter and what we systemized for him. And we helped him turn his physiotherapy clinic owners into high-ticket clients using the same system. And now he's scaling without begging for referrals. He didn't have a system. He was just dependent on the clients giving him referrals. That's when I told him, Peter, you need to understand that you need to have one specific mechanism that will convert. And you need to understand that you can do it with cheap ads as long as you know how to leverage AI for it and utilize them. Well, we did that second month, 100K. With that being said, that's the first thing that you got to understand. So going back to this, you got to understand that your offer can already do the heavy lifting for you. You got to understand that it's all about that. And you got to understand that in a saturated niche, the more saturated it is, the more people are in it, the clearer your offer needs to be, and the more compelling and good it needs to be, other than your message also triggering them to actually start the conversation with you. Second part, scaling sales calls with low budget AI meta ads. Now, I probably know that that's what you came here for, so I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to go in depth on this. And everyone thinks running ads to book high ticket clients is, expensive. It's difficult. It's not beginner friendly. On conversations, what we hear a lot is like, I don't want to run ads. I already have like four clients, but I don't want to run ads because it's probably it's very expensive. And I'm like, okay, so what do you think is very expensive? Yeah, like 1K a month. I'm like, you don't even need that. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you don't need 1K a month. You need as low as 300, 400 a month to get started. Maybe even less than that. Maybe even less than that can already get you booked calls if you know what to do. And if you have, as I said, a compelling message combined with a compelling offer that's actually really good to give your clients the best service delivery and use some low-hanging fruits. So they believe, and maybe you're one of them, and I don't blame you because this is the stigma that has been created around meta ads. But now's the time to leverage it, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. You might believe, that even if you do get leads, They're usually not interested, too cold and impossible to close, or they simply don't have the money. Okay? But here's the truth. After we've spent almost millions in ad spend across hundreds of industries, I can say with confidence, honestly, that ads do work. Ads do work. Again, if you run them right. Very important. If you run them right, they will be profitable. If you don't know how to run them, you will never want to run ads ever again. This shift is this. Meta's AI is now smarter than 95% of media buyers. The Zuck himself said it. AI is making sure that everything and the entire customer experience, user experience of not only the consumers of Meta, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook users, but also that the companies, the advertisers, actually get the best experience. So what does that mean? That means that AI is highly involved now in analyzing your video, in understanding what the video is saying, targeting the right people based on what is said, targeting the right people based on what is said in the ad copy, targeting the right people based on every single little detail that you've put in the ad. So imagine you launching an ad that you don't know how to AI optimize. It will pretty much just flop. Do you want your ads to flop? Then you need to understand how AI works with Meta. And if you do, you're going to leverage the highest yield possible for yourself. So instead of wasting money hacking audiences, we let Meta's AI do all the heavy lifting while we just provide the right inputs. And guys, honestly, I need to tell you, there has never, ever, ever been an easier time to run Meta ads than now. So if you're not running profitable Meta ads right now, within the easiest time to run it, then I don't know when you will, honestly. So all you need is these things. These are literally the exact things that you need. You need a proof-driven offer. As I said, step number 1, a proof-driven offer. What is the proof behind your offer? Do you have showcases of people you've worked with that you can leverage? Why aren't you doing that? You need to start there. Do you have showcases of what the exact process is that you do? Show that. Second thing is, we need ads that speak to pain plus proof. No gimmicks. That means that we need to speak towards the pain. What is your pain that I'm speaking towards? I'm speaking towards you considering probably you don't have a client acquisition system that is fully maximized to get you 30 to 100 appointments every month. You probably don't have it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. Or you're not getting clients on autopilot. Maybe that's an issue that we got to fix. Those are the main bottlenecks. I'm speaking directly to your pain points, and you've seen the people that I've helped, and myself including, to solve it. And then we need a simple 2-step direct offer funnel, which could be a VSL or a lead form to a booking. Now for Peter, we used the VSL, the traditional VSL. But what we've seen work actually, very well is a lead form, a simple lead form that can actually just be on Meta itself with one maybe qualification question and pretty much asking them the name, email, phone number. That's it. So doing that and then calling them and then following up with them with the exact same process can already do the job. So we can make it even easier than creating an entire VSL. We can even do it through a lead form. So you can imagine when I tell you it's super easy, well, it is easy if you know how to do it. So these are the 3 steps. Because Meta's AI, what it will do is if you give it the offer, if you have an ad and a creative and a copy that speaks to the pain and shows proof to the audience, and it has a simple 2-step direct offer funnel, which is a VSL or lead form to a booking, then Meta will take the ads, it pushes them out to a user base of over 3 billion people, and then shows them only to the most likely to convert. Because Meta only makes money. You got to understand how Meta works if you want to make it, profitable for yourself. Meta only makes money when you make money. So they're literally incentivized to send you buyers, not time wasters. How Meta works is that it will not earn anything on you just spending it. Because what happens if you spend and you don't get return? You're going to stop. You're not going to ever spend money on Meta ads again. But if it works, you're going to put more money in. So they're inclined to want to make it work. Because if it works, you keep on doing it, they earn more money, and you keep on doing it. So it's like a flywheel effect. Now, this is exactly how we also helped Sophia Meyer, as I told you before, scale her B2C coaching business. It's similar to, an agency. If you're looking at this and you have an agency, without blowing 5K to 10K a month on wasted ad tests. She plugged into the system and was able to fill her calendar with pre-sold calls on a budget most people won't believe. So honestly, we started, and in 1 year time, we spent about 180K on ads, and we leveraged about 1.1 million, right, total revenue for her in her business. That's a ROAS of more than 5 on everything that she has been doing in a business that's super saturated, which is the biz up business, teaching people with an info product how they can start an online business. So we've done that, and we're still doing it consistently for her because of the ways that we've set it up with the 2-step funnel to booking, to qualifying them, to making sure that they're warm, so her sales team actually has people that are already ready to join. And we've pre-qualified them fully so they don't waste time and everyone is happy. How great is that? When your sales team can do their work, or when if you're the salesperson, can do the work and enjoy it and not think to yourself, man, these leads are so cold, what do I need to do? That's not what we want. We want to have quality leads, but also make them so warm that they're ready to buy. So what we do instead is manufacture something we call the know, like, trust factor. I call it the KLT factor. And the KLT factor, we set that up on autopilot, which means that even cold strangers book in like they were referred by a friend. And this is the exact thing that happened, what I've shown to you. If you run these retargeting ads, if you run these types of ads, where you're yielding leverage, you're yielding social proof. And there's two most important things that everyone is talking about, and Alex Hermosi is one of them that talks about it, and I've taken as well for myself from Ibangachi. It's authority and it's social proof. And what happens when you do this? When you do a testimonial, client testimonial ad, you do the two things. You do the authority and you do the social proof. So here's what happens. If we build up the KLT factor and it's running, this retargeting ad can be running for months upon months, if not years, because people keep seeing the results. So here's what happens. A complete stranger goes from never having heard of you to I'm ready to work with you almost instantly, because they hear someone in their position having made the transformation that they would like. And even if it's not the exact same thing that they would want, it still speaks to them and their goals, because they still want to achieve the goal that they have in mind. So even if it speaks 1% towards them, it's already going to trigger them more than if you don't have this running. Now your ads become a referral-like booking machine. Every call you generate feels like they were personally recommended to you. And the usual objections, which you are used to, they are no more. I just met you. I need to think about it. I need to discuss with my partner. This is too expensive. I don't have the money. Let me get back to you. These things, we don't hear them anymore. Why? Because we've created a KLT factor that goes from a scale of 1, them not knowing you, not having a know, like, trust factor, to a 10, them having a full know, like, trust factor, scaling it up to an 8 minimum. Instead, they show up pre-sold. They're ready, already trusting you and already knowing the price. So the call is basically a formality. They already know it. They know the price. They know what you do. They know how you do it. And this is exactly, as I said, how we did it with Sophia. And she went from relying on referrals to filling her calendar with high-ticket buyers without spending years building an audience or wasting thousands testing ads. Now, the third step is the reverse sales playbook. Everyone talks about sales. Let's talk a little bit about sales. So once you launch your low-budget AI ads, your calendar can start filling up with qualified sales calls as soon as the next day, right? But it's not like organic. And organic takes you longer to build. It just takes more time. Cold outreach, same thing. It's a slow grind. Unless you have the systems, where we use direct offers to the people and still use the leverage. But ads is just way quicker. You launch it, it's there, and they see it. And even if they have, they cannot leave a message unseen. Like the ad just keeps on targeting them because it's correct targeting. It shows your ideal audience the ad with the offer, with what you do and how you do it. So at a certain moment, they'll do it, right? Ads are instant. And here's the truth. Leads are useless if you cannot close them. And that's why we install something that we call the reverse sales playbook. And this is designed to convert someone who doesn't know who you are into a ready-to-buy, high-ticket client on a single 45-minute sales call. They convert instantly. Why? Because they are so warm. They have something that they already know of. And then the main thing that you need to do on the call is not hard sell them, right? Because how it works is you don't hard sell them. Instead of hard selling strangers who don't trust you, we flip the script. So prospects want you more than you want them. We flip the dynamics, power versus force. This completely changes the sales conversation and it puts you in a position of authority. How nice is it of you to sit on a call? You're sipping your pina colada or wherever you are, and a client shows up, a potential client shows up. They already know what you do. They're warm. They're ready to buy. They have the money and they want to start with you. Could you imagine that? That's insane, but it can be possible. And it completely changes the sales conversation and puts you in a position of authority. By doing this, our clients, Milan and Nikon, who I've shown to you in the beginning, they've scaled from tradesmen earning just 2K per month with only 2 agency clients to 150K cash collected in 3 months, close 40 to 60% of all their calls, all from ads run on as little as 500 a month, actually even less, on a 2-step funnel. As I've shown to you on the YouTube channel, both Nikon and Milan have done an interview with me on how they've scaled and what they've done. And they have been an amazing story and showcase on what can actually work if you utilize this system. So just to show you how this looks in reality, let me get some KPIs to you, because this video is nothing without you actually understanding the numbers. Because as I said, you know the game, I know the game, we all know the game. We all know that, this is a VSL, this is a video, but let's put the numbers to the test. Let's actually put them side by side and give you an understanding that you know how much you would need to spend to actually acquire one client. Now, let's say that your ad spend is about 500, okay? And let's say that you're paying for a qualified booked call. Let's say that you're paying 50, which is definitely possible if you have the right, as I said, offer, the right proof, and the right targeting and knowing how to speak to the market. It will all fall into pieces. Then let's say you have 10 calls per month. Let's say you have a show up rate, which is usually, let's say 90%, right? Which, because they are warm, they know what you are doing. And let's say your close rate is at, let's say 30%. Let's say your price point, depending on what type of business you are, let's say conservatively that your price point is 1,500. That would already rack you in about like 4,000 a month in new revenue. So you're spending 500 and you're getting 4K. That's almost an 8-time return. Now let us go ahead and spend a little bit more ads, because hey, you've gotten the clients. Let's bump it up to 1,000. But let's not only do that. Let's also make sure that your price is being upped to 2.5. Now with 1,000, you are growing exponentially. So what does that mean? With a little bit, you get a good return. You get an 8 ROAS. That's insane. Imagine someone comes up to you and they say, hey, listen, you give me just $1, €1. You give me one. Listen, man, within 2 weeks, I'm going to give you 8 back. Would you do it? Would you do it? Of course you would. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't say, here's $1, give me 8 back? And who wouldn't say, here's 1,000, put in 1,000, and get 13,000 back? Or you scale it even up. And that's pretty much what we've done with all of our clients. Up the price, get a better closing rate, get more sales calls per month. There's only 40 sales calls per month. You're already sitting at 32K. Get, let's say an ad spend that's even more. Let's say your cost per book call goes a little bit up, right? Goes to 100. Your ad spend increases to even like 3,000. Your price goes up a little bit more. You're sitting at almost 30K from 3K ad spend. If your profit margins are good, you're doing amazing numbers. Now, what you can do from this point, you can say, you know what? Dude, I'm just going to 2x every single month that I'm doing this. And guess what happens? Exponential growth, 56K. If we exponentially grow this, and we were at a certain moment spending about 21K with a price point of also 3.5, we were making these numbers. So if we can make these numbers, maybe with the show up rate going a little bit down, let me say like 75%, you're making 165K by spending 21K on ads. But you don't have to do that. As I said, you can start off with as low as 500. With Nikon and Milan, for example, we had a cost per call of 30 and we had a price point of 1,500. So they were putting in 500, getting back 5.6K. Huge margins because they were closing themselves. And then we scale it up. And then we said, you know what? We're going to scale it up, man. We're going to put it at 2K. Let's put it at 2K. Boom. They got 30K in return, right? And their price stayed the same. They didn't want to change it. And we did that. With Peter, the same thing. Peter's ad spend was the first month was around 3K. His main price point was about 1,000. And he added an additional revenue of about 22K, right? So that's when I made this calculator, just to showcase to people how much would you actually need to spend. How much would it cost you to get a qualified, and I'm talking about just a sales call. I'm talking about a qualified call, which would actually mean that you should be able to close 50%. But as I said, I'm doing it a little bit conservatively here. You should be able to close these people at a 50% rate. So with that in mind, if your price point is already at 2K and you're doing an ad spend of, let's say, 1,000, your return is also already going to be at 25K. If you even spend 1,000 on ads, let's say you spend 500 on ads, you're already going to get the 12.5K return. It all depends on your pricing. If your closing rate is good, let's say 25%, and your price is at a high ticket price, you're selling maybe 3 to 5K, which I'm doing as well. At 5K price point, you can already be getting insane amounts of clients with just a 500 ad spend. Hope this gives you a little bit of an insight on all the data, actually what you need and how much return you can get. Because at the end of the day, it's all about getting the maximum return for yourself. You got to keep in mind that I didn't do one thing, and one thing that's very important, the lifetime value of a client. Let's say you do 500. Let's say you get $50 for pretty much a qualified booked call. If you do that and your closer is 25, but you actually have, let's say, 2K, what you will get as a return isn't the only thing you will get, because the client will stick with you for 2K every single month. And if your service delivery is good, which is something that we focus on as well, because it's important that your offer, your system gets your clients actual results. Guys, come on. We're living in a day and age where you need to get results. If you can do that at the price point of 2K and the client sticks with you, like our clients, for example, like with Sophia, I'm just being very transparent. She stuck with us pretty much for 2 years. That's 24 months. Do 2,000 times 24. We're talking about 48,000 that she has been delivering us over the span of 2 years, with us having spent 500 on ads to acquire her. Maybe even less, honestly, because she's already been there. Like in terms of on the profile, we've been using the lowest hanging fruits and leverage everything that we already have. With that being said, I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight on how much you should need to spend to acquire what client at what price point. And imagine opening your calendar. Imagine this. You wake up on a Monday, weekend has passed. You're starting on Monday, which is usually the work day, but your Monday is actually your weekend. You're waking up and seeing 15 to 20 pre-sold calls booked for the week, all with people who already know the price, trust you, and want to work with you. And if you're wondering, but like, I'm thinking like, how do I create the perfect offer, Stefan? How do I do that? How do I wake up on that Monday and sip my pina colada and talk with these clients? Well, you create the perfect offer that's guaranteed to attract your exact ideal client, but the things that I mentioned, but you're probably asking yourself still, like, how do I do it in a saturated market? What ad copy should I run? What's the best ad setup on Meta ads? How do I ensure I'm getting the best, cost per qualified book call without overpaying? How do I exactly turn sales calls from ads into referral-like quality before I even speak to them? How do I close this cold stranger into a call? What's the script? Do I have a script? Do I have a framework? What do I do? How do I scale my ads without costs blowing out so that as I spend more, my qualified bookings and profit increase with it? Last but not least, how do I scale like crazy while keeping service delivery on point to retain clients for years using AI, Stefan, like you do with Sophia Meyer? Well, if you're asking yourself these questions, you're in the right place. And you've been in the right place from the start of this video. And hopefully now you see why. And what you get when you want to work with us or when you work with us is these things. We will build or optimize your offer so it's irresistible to cold traffic. We will single-handedly step in your business, your agency, coaching, or course creator business, whatever you have. And we will optimize your offer so it's ready. It's completely ready to be positioned towards the market so they understand exactly what you do and they can become warm by you just positioning it in front of them. Second thing is, we'll launch a 2-step client acquisition funnel, which could either be a VSL or a lead form as I've shown you with Peter. Now, it can be something along the lines of the 2-step funnel as is this one. We will help you with the framework. We'll help you with the backend setup. We will even help you with the calls and how you can do them if you need help with that. And we'll even help you on the ad side of things and give you ads that are similar to these ones that you can set up yourself as well, because we want you to learn it. We want you to understand how you can do it and implement it by yourself. So, that being said, we'll also help you run AI-powered meta ads or start you pretty much organically if you're newer. Now, I'm talking about meta ads, that's still not the only way and the only route to go. For some of you, it might even make sense to go the organic route, but still, we need to do the same process. We need to make sure that we have something to convert them. We need to have an offer. We need to have a compelling message to get to them and get their attention so they can actually be converted from there. And then what we have is we need to have this acquisition funnel. This funnel that is pretty much ready and good to go so we can actually convert people from there. And then what we'll do is we'll actually plug in AI tools for prospecting, for follow-up, and for service delivery, meaning all fronts of your business are covered. That means that none of the covers of your business, none of the facets of your business, none of the actual things in your business are not covered, because we're not only going to help you sign the clients. I cannot only help you get a good offer. I cannot only help you sign the clients. I cannot only help you get 30 to 100 book calls and 10 to 25 clients in actually 180 days. I cannot only do that. I need to help you on the back end service delivery. I need to help you understand how you can actually deliver a top tier service for your clients. Because what will happen? You will sign a client. You will get them good results. That client will want to do an interview with you. You do an interview. You get it into an ad. You run the ad and get more clients. And you get more clients because they're doing that. It's a flywheel effect. And we will also help you hire A players and systemize you as you scale. And you will work directly with me and my team for 180 days. So I will go on a one-on-one with you. And I will set up the entire offer. I will set up everything regarding your business. I will help you fully to the T so you understand how to do it. So you understand how to actually implement everything that you need to get this to work. Because anyone can do it. And if you're not doing it now, as I said, in this big pool of potential clients that you have in your niche, I really don't know what you're doing. Like, honestly, I really don't know what you're doing. If you don't utilize it now, like, I don't know how cheap meta ads are going to stay. Like, we're seeing them become expensive by the day. So that's just the reality of things. And it's always been like that. If you were to start meta ads 10 years ago, you would have had a great, fantastic time. Now, you need to know how to do it differently. So here's the part you won't see anywhere else. The guarantee. And I'm going to tell it to you, bluntly here, so you know what the guarantee is. And just being very honest with you. Now, most coaches want you to pay 10K or 20K upfront and then hope it works. Now, look, I'm very honest. I get it. I do get it. You've probably heard these crazy promises before, and as have I. Get to 52 clients in 52 weeks. Okay, we get it. The difference is this. Most gurus want 10 to 20K up front, give you a cookie cutter course and disappear. It's the truth. It's the honest truth. And I've seen it first-handedly, and I became sick and tired of it, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you how you can actually do it differently and how we do it differently. That's why we structure this with milestone payments and a guarantee. So the risk is on us, not you, which means we don't play the guru game. I don't want to play the guru game. I'm tired of the guru game. I'm tired of them. I'm really tired of them. I'm really tired of people not delivering a good service. I just cannot fathom you offering something and then under-delivering. Why? I don't get it. It doesn't click in my head. And I've been someone who's gone through these things before and seen, as I said, first-handedly, that people just don't deliver the service. They don't do it. They don't care. They just care about the paycheck. So we guarantee you will land 10 to 25 clients in 180 days, pen to paper, put on a contract, agreement, boom. Or we will extend our work for free. We will refund you your money. Plus we will pay you $2,500 for wasting your time. Done and dusted. Set an agreement. The guarantee goes both ways though. We cannot only go offer you the guarantee and you're going to be sitting and, as I said, drink these pina coladas, which I hope are very tasty because I want some after this 50-minute video. But what I would say is it needs to go both ways. Meaning you need to also run ads. You need to commit to an agreed, let's say ballpark 500 a month, 300 to 500 a month minimum spend. You need to also do outreach and you need to commit to 50 to 100 quality DMs across platforms. Now, this is just a ballpark estimate. It's not exactly this, just to be very clear. Before you think, oh my God, it is so much. I don't even have that many. Listen, these numbers will be adjusted to your specific niche. Let me be straight with that. We're not going to say spend 500 or do this amount of DM if it doesn't make sense in your niche. So this way, the system actually works and you get results. That's it. You can also choose to work with us in milestone payments. What I mean with that? Meaning, You only ever pay from profit, not out of pocket. So you start with us. Being completely honest with you, we have a setup, setup service, pretty much a setup fee where we can do the work so my team can actually deliver, so I can do the sessions with you, but it's nowhere near like what other people are doing, no way near. And we choose these milestone payments. We do these. That means when you get 2 clients, then you do the next payment. You get 2 clients or 2-3 clients depending on your price point. You do the next payment. 2-3 clients, next payment until you've paid off the program and the coaching and the entire, whatever you want to call it, program, coaching, whatever. We just do a full setup. That's pretty much what we do. And the reason why this works is because, as I said, prospects show up pre-sold. They know your pricing. They trust you before the call happens. That's why calls feel like referral quality conversations instead of cold pitches. That is the reason why. And when you're closing 40 to 60% of your calls like our clients, imagine doubling your revenue without adding a single new lead. As I told you, people like Nikon and Milan, who are pretty much just closing at 40 to 60% of their calls, generating that and getting these results. Pre-qualified people, warm people that actually are ready to go and ready to make an action with them, and them leveraging everything. And if you want to see their ads as well, you can pretty much go to Ad Library and look up Glow Marketing. This is pretty much what they're doing, and I'm just going to do all because I'm based in the Netherlands. So these are their ads. So they're running these ads. You can see, boom, client interview. Boom, client interview. You see that? Boom, here, leverage, direct, pretty much face to camera offer. Do you want these type amounts of clients? This is the offer. This is the system. Then results. Again, still images. The 3 things that I mentioned to you, they're doing. And being profitable. And booking close to now more than almost 100 book calls a month. What are we talking about? So, if they can do it, why shouldn't you? This is how agency owners, coaches, and consultants scale to 50K or 150K plus per month without wasting 5 to 10K on testing. 180 days, take that in your mind. 180 days, where would you like to be in 180 days? Where do you see yourself? How many clients? How many appointments? Warm appointments, cold appointments? Be honest with yourself. What do you want? Do you want cold appointments? Do you want cold appointments to come on a call and then say, I need to think about it. I need to talk with my partner. I need to talk with my cat. Do you want that? Of course you don't. You want warm, qualified prospects. Who doesn't? And that's exactly what this system with cheap ads, optimized ads, and AI systems can get you. 10 to 25 clients or your money back plus 2,500. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. We take a handful of serious agencies and coaches each month because you can see how long this video is. You can imagine how long my sessions are. I truly go fully to help you with everything that we have in our power. And I hope you take this opportunity because honestly, I don't know how cheap Meta is going to stay. I don't know. But this is a unique situation you're finding yourself in. This is almost like a gold rush we're finding ourselves in. And the people who are doing it will be very profitable, and the people who don't will be looking back as they have done with everything in the market that has been new, and then they run behind the facts. So you got to ask yourself the question, do you want to secure one of the spots and get yourself a spot secured in this gold rush of Meta ads being very cheap and getting these clients? Then book your call below. And if you don't want it, it's all good. Please wait until this all goes by. And every month you will delay all the revenue you're leaving on the table. It's all good. Leave it on the table. Leave it for us to pick it up. It's all good. So hopefully this video has given you some insights. If you're ready to go, book a call down below. You already know how it goes. Fill out a couple of questions. We'll have a conversation with you and see if it makes sense and really try to help you during that call and see the calculation with you. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? If it makes sense, we'll talk about what we exactly do with our guarantee in place. And if it doesn't, you'll walk away with free value. So there's no reason for you not to book the call. I see you there.